My name's Will. Hi. I'm originally from Philadelphia. I've been living here in London back and forth since August 2020, and then officially moved over here in May of last year. So it's about a year and a half officially, with visas and stuff like that. And yeah, last November I got sick on my way to work. I was on the tube after working out and running. Um, I was sweating profusely and trying to figure out what was going on because obviously I just worked out, so I just chopped it up to I'm still burning those calories, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And then I got a very it's hard to explain, like a very pulsing and like crazy headache, right? Where one of those headaches where it's like light sensitive and your head's just literally throbbing. So like I had that, and I've suffered from migraines in the past, so I kind of know how to like maneuver when getting a migraine. So I just like, sat for a moment with my head in my hand and just like trying to calm my breathing, calm my pulse, trying to like, relieve the headache, but the headache wouldn't go anywhere. So I was on the train, I was sweating, I had a headache. I managed to get myself to the office. And before getting on the elevator to go to the office, I sat in the stairwell again, just trying to gather myself because I know like once I go up here, the day starts. Once the day starts, you're not gonna have a moment. So I sat in the stairwell and just wouldn't stop sweating and just literally wouldn't stop sweating. Now my whole shirt is like drenched and like I jumped in a pool. And then I had to throw up. So I'm throwing up in the stairwell and it's very discolored. It's like green, very discolored. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So I messaged one of my colleagues who is up in the office. I said, man, I'm in a stairwell. I need help. Come get me. So they come down, get me in the stairwell. Like, and backstory, I'm like 6'9". I play professional basketball. Like, I'm the fit person at the office. Like, no one, like when people think of me, they think of me as athletic and in shape. So to see me how I was on the stairwell took my coworkers by storm, right? So they, Will, what's going on? They thought I had a cheeky night out. I'm like, nah, man, that's not it. So they brought me up to the office. I jumped in the shower because we have a shower in the office. Again, trying to cool myself down. Got back to the couch in the common area, and I start throwing up blood, right? And as I'm throwing up blood, it's not just like the common like if you got hit in your nose and you like have blood in your mucus, it's not that. It's like literally like a puddle of blood. Like I'm throwing up puddles and puddles of blood. And our first aider, who happened to be there at the moment, was like, man, we need to get you to a hospital now. So he called 111. I think that's the number. And they told me they could send an ambulance. The ambulance would take about 20 to 25 minutes. And then he said, I don't think he's gonna make it. Let's get in an Uber. So I managed to pick myself up, get in an Uber, and make my way to UCH, which was like a 5-minute drive, which was, a blessing in disguise. We'll find that out later. So went there, uh barely made it, sat on the floor as soon as I got in there. Like the officer came in, was trying to tell me to get up. I'm like, yo, I can't. And then they managed to get me in a wheelchair, took me back, hooked me up to all these machines. And they told me that my heart was failing, my kidneys was failing, my liver was failing. Heart, kidneys, liver, and lungs were all failing simultaneously. Like it was the weirdest anomaly to ever, and they found the tumor, 8 centimeter tumor on my left adrenal gland. And that was a pheochromocytoma, which I later found out, which causes abnormal amounts of adrenaline. So on average, the human adrenaline threshold is from 0 to 1,000. And when I got sick and was checked into the hospital, my adrenaline level was actually 50,000. So it was literally 50 times the average human. And they said if I hadn't got there when I got in there, I wouldn't have made it. So that's a blessing in the disguise, that I happen to be that close. And then they hooked me up, got me calm, and then start running these tests. Like, okay, where did it come from? Why is it there? And running all these tests for probably, I think I was in the hospital for about 15 days. Um, and I came in on a Monday. That Friday, I got removed from the ICU and went upstairs, and they just said they've never seen that level of sickness to that level of recovery so quick, right? So I went from like literally my heart was operating under 5% to like being able to like, you know, fully walk around like ready to go in like 6 days. So that's again a testament to my shape and my fitness. But they still kept me there for testing. And then during their testing, they actually found lumps in my neck, which they soon diagnosed me with medullary thyroid cancer. And then so it's like a double whammy, right? So I got sick, and then they felt the pheochromocytoma, which is 8 centimeters, and then they found the lumps in my neck, and then they found spots on my liver as well. So it was very trying. And so that was in December, and then in January they officially diagnosed me as a stage 4 cancer patient. And then March I had surgery to get the tumor on my adrenal gland taken out. That was tested, and I actually came back malignant. So most pheochromocytomas, 90% of them are benign. They're literally just a tumor that creates that causes that reaction, and you take them out, and it's not as big of a deal. But mine had metastasized and actually came back cancerous. So I actually had 2 cancers in my body simultaneously, which was like unheard of because I was so well, right? Again, they kept telling me how they've never seen someone with 0 signs whatsoever get so sick so quick. So that was definitely trying. And then I had surgery in April to remove my thyroid. I don't know if you can see the scar, but yeah, I had my thyroid, 2 parathyroids, and 65 lymph nodes removed. And then yeah, that was my intermediate. And then I got a break and got to go home. And then now I'm back, and now I'm going to have spots in my liver ablated. And then they found a little pheo on my right adrenal gland as well. So we're unsure if we want to just take it out or if we want to, you know, just monitor it. So yeah, I guess that's catching you up on how we got here.
Wow. I was kind of like, I thought I'd heard everything, and then suddenly the next, you said the next thing, and I thought, my goodness me, it's like a story that keeps on spiraling, so much to it. I mean, when someone hears something like stage 4 cancer, the mind just goes straight to the worst. Like, there aren't a lot of, well, I think a lot of the time we don't hear positive things coming out of stage 4 cancer, but that seems to be a little bit different for you. Like your journey at the moment seems to be one of more like empowerment, I guess. What is it that keeps you going? What is it that keeps you going despite everything that you're having to deal with at the moment?
Yeah. So again, I'm very familiar with that. I actually call it cancer eyes, right? So when you tell someone, yeah, I actually have cancer, they give you, oh, like, you know what I mean? Those like cancer eyes. And it actually, me, I'm a very upbeat and positive and motivating. That's just my makeup, growing up in inner city Philadelphia, being able to make it out per se to play professional basketball all over the world. I'm already statistically, I'm already overachieving, and then for me to go through those struggles and then get something, it equipped me with being very mentally tough, and just always seeing the glasses half full. So that's why I'm so positive, is because I take challenges head on and try to, shape how we think of trials and tribulations. And that's what my whole Cancer Bay movement is all about. I know you say you follow me on socials. So yeah, I have this new cancer movement going around. It's called Cancer Bay. And it's just basically a movement to help change the stigma associated with cancer. So most people hear the word cancer, like we just spoke about, and think of it as a taboo word, as it comes with an eerie and dreary stigma. And, I'm trying to shift that, for people like me who have stage 4 cancer. It's no longer about, fighting cancer or surviving cancer. It's more about living with cancer, because, that's all you can do if you choose to. You can choose to let it, define you and how you live life, or you can, take it head on. And my journey is to help bring as much awareness to people and to cancer and cancer research, but also people who are currently on their journey who, don't necessarily look like a cancer patient. Like me, I don't necessarily look like a cancer patient, or walk or talk, or like, and bringing that awareness will, I think, help free other people to openly speak about it, because a lot of people internalize all that hurt and all that, emotions from being told you have stage 4 and what's next, and going through your treatment and being in and out of hospital. Like, I literally go to the hospital once a week, twice a week sometimes, and just like that can literally consume you. So my goal is to, help create a community where people feel open to share, and not alone, and know that living with cancer could be just as fun as living without it. So.
I think that's inspiring and really needed, because, as you say, the dialogue around disease in general, but particularly cancer, is one that is so negatively driven that it is easy to lose ourselves, in the what we feel we can't control, when actually, look at what you can control in life. Look at what you're doing, now. Look at what it's brought out for you. Look at, the life, that you are leading, to show people what is possible. And I think that's so important. And I'm really, really glad that you've mentioned that. And you talk about community. You talk about the importance of, helping people feel like it doesn't have to be a certain way, or they don't have to do it alone. If someone were to reach out to you and say, this is what I'm experiencing, or I've had a similar diagnosis, or, my symptoms sound similar, what is the first thing you say to someone when they reach out?
Well, I'll say thank you so much for reaching out. Always thank you so much for reaching out, for, allowing me to feel like allowing me to create a platform where you feel comfortable enough to reach out. So the first thing is always thank you so much for reaching out. And then the next thing is just letting them know, like, you got this, man. You're not alone. And as dreary as it feels right now, you're not alone. Like, I'm going through it. I think I've seen a statistic: 1 in 2 people in the UK will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Right? That's a crazy statistic, right? So like, you're not alone, and you don't need to be alone if you don't want to be alone. I know you feel alone, but you got it. And just continue to give those positive affirmations and those warm and inviting, vibes, to hopefully help get through that short moment. Because it's mostly just a short moment where you're feeling vulnerable, and then you can manage. So my goal is just in that brief moment of vulnerability, is to allow them to feel heard and supported and surrounded. So
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. And in terms of, the life you have at the moment, obviously you talk so fondly of basketball. I can hear, the passion, and I'm sure there's an amazing story behind that. And, you say the doctors were super confused at how on earth someone so, fit and well and athletic could, have symptoms like this and end up with a diagnosis like this. I mean, what is it that, you do in your, let's say, your day-to-day life that keeps you on top of managing this condition?
yeah, so again, basketball helped create discipline, in a sense. Like, even when I wasn't playing at a high level, I still felt the urge to get out and do something, even if it wasn't to the level that I was doing it before. But like, just gotta put pennies, well, what do you call them, pences, in the piggy bank, just like every day, just what are you putting in the piggy bank, so that you can lean on that in your times of need. Like, so I just try to, get 1% better every day, whether that be push-ups, stretching, running. I try to just put something in the piggy bank every day. So on those rainy days, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling blue, I got enough built up that it doesn't, or when I'm in the hospital for 6 weeks, or, you know what I mean? It just like doesn't get me that far off, because I, stored and saved up that piggy bank. But I think in going through this journey, definitely working out and being fit helps. Like just running and going outside, and just like, just like being around people, right? So like I said, I live in West London, and it's always busy on the street, right? And the more you surround yourself with people, even if it's subconsciously, like, more you surround yourself with people, the more energy they give back to you. Like I learned, so before living here, we lived in a different part of London, and the street that we lived on wasn't as people feeling. So like on those rainy days, it would feel even more rainy and more gloomy. But even now on this street, even if it's raining, there's still hundreds of people walking out. So you don't feel as, gloomy. So I think definitely it helps with the mental. Even if you're not running, if you just walking and you just get better, like literally, like say you walk to a destination and you time yourself, and then you do it again the next time and you just try to get faster, and you just try to get fast. You just start with little goals and try to, get better each and every day. So
I think
that's
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah. It's those small things, isn't it? The small little steps, and as you say, something to lean back on in times of need. I think that's a really powerful thing, a message to get across. And in terms of your Cancer Bay movement, which I'm sure has accelerated in literally
Yeah.
the most amazing speed. What's your vision for it? Because I'm sure it's evolving the whole time, and
Yeah.
I mean, I know the same thing with what I'm doing as well. Everything feels different when you get up in the morning, and it's like, okay, what are we going to be looking at today? Like, what's your where do you see it going, and what is it you want to do with it?
Yeah. So what I'm envisioning, right, is like a whole movement of like pinkish, like vibrant colors, like just like people like posting, sending photos, tagging Cancer Bay, and just like, a community full of love and support. I mean, a lot of charities have that. Like it's a lot of charities who have that, but I think what differentiate Cancer Bay, well, first of all, what I want to do, I want to create my own foundation and charity. My goal is to make Cancer Bay a new age cancer charity / foundation. So I actually have a GoFundMe up for trying to raise those funds in order to get that ball rolling. But my main goal is to create my own foundation. And within creating that foundation, I want it to be, again, people who look like me, aesthetically are different, who you look and say, dang, you got cancer? Like, I didn't know you. Like, there's a lot of people like that who, even like, because I'm an oversharer. At times there are people who are undershare and they just don't, but like that story is special. Like my story is special where I come from. Even American living in London, the perspective of healthcare in London coming from America, like that's a different and unique story, are like having two cancers in my body simultaneously. Like, again, that's a different story, getting a stage 4 diagnosis after not having anything wrong whatsoever. Like just like those unique stories and perspectives help create community. So my ultimate goal is to create a new, light, vibrant community, and maybe one day do some Cancer Bay walks and create some Cancer Bay merch. Like I got so many ideas for like merchandise and like sayings and like, like picnics or like walks or like, art classes. Like I got so many different like ideas, but I think the first step is to like establishing funds to create a foundation. And then once I become an official foundation, I'll build the foundation and just, travel all over the world and give people light, just give people light and energy and love and just help people shine, bringing people together, unifying all individual lights together to create a bigger light. And hopefully that light will shine bright enough that everyone around the light will look at it. I don't know. I guess. I don't know.
Well, your guest sounds incredible, and honestly, you put the biggest smile on my face when you were talking about the colors and and the vibrancy and everything. I just thought, yeah, this is incredible, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Small steps, small consistent steps.
Yeah.
So if anyone listening or watching this back wants to reach out to you or connect or follow you, how best do they find you?
Oh, please like, comment, share on my socials. My socials is willwise24 on TikTok, on Insta, on YouTube. Yeah, like, comment, share, repost, comment, love, hearts, I'll give it back to you. All the links are in my bio everywhere. The GoFundMe link is in my bio. The links to all my socials are in my bio. And then hopefully soon we'll get some merch rolling. So that'll be in my bio as well. And any and all ideas, just reach out. I'm very accessible. And if I don't message you right away, I promise you I will get to it. I'm open for any and all collaborations. There's a lot of people doing a lot of cool things. Like, even I met, oh, well, actually my fiance actually met a person named Feel Fabulous, and she actually has like I want to say 20 different feels in her body simultaneously, and just like her platform that she's creating is like amazing. And like, I wouldn't have been able to like connect with her if this hadn't happened. Like, I just think the power of social media connects so many different unique stories together. And that's what I'm trying to, ultimately scale with Cancer Bay. Because it's not limited. It's not limited because some foundations are limited to certain cancers, where I feel like Cancer Bay is like encompassing all. So it's like really exciting. It's really exciting. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I am too. And I think, it's going to be amazing. I think you're creating something really new and unique and very much needed.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Will, so much for your time. I could honestly go on talking to you forever, but I do have to wrap up. So just to say thank you, and if people listening back obviously have any questions, then they know where to reach out to you and get in touch. And hopefully we'll have you back on soon, and maybe, collaborating, doing something fun together, and, as I say, creating more space, making more noise in an area like this, which is, often kind of a little bit overlooked, I guess.
Yep, we'll see. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much again for reaching out, and excited to see where obviously your platform goes. I'm glad that I could be a part of moving it forward and scaling it. And please reach out if you have any other ideas and want to continue. I'm down for another one. I'll interview you. I'll interview you.
Amazing. Thank you, Will.
Yeah, no problem. Speak soon.